Well, there it is. It has its bends and its folds and creases, and that's probably the way it's going to always be. It would be nice. I would like it if I could stretch it. I think I could stretch it, you know. There's no reason why I couldn't. I think it may have so many lumps in it. I guess it's just not hanging flat. Oh, there's also, there's a bowl under there. That makes it not hang straight. And not all of the poles are at the same angle, which also messes with the folds. But I'm very pleased with it. I keep looking at it and thinking what people are going to think of it. And I'm not just letting myself enjoy it. I keep thinking of how people will think it looks ugly, or there goes another one, or, you know, and where do I get all that stuff from? I have had a few people that said negative things about my sedgemeadow teepee, but you know, most of them thought it was wonderful. People would stop and take pictures. And so now I'm putting this one up, and I'm thinking, I don't want it to look bad. I don't want people to dislike it. But it's quite an effort to get it to lay flat. Because of the bush here, I did build the teepee on a bush. And I need to trim off the top. And then I can pull that better. That's not perfect, but you know what? It's the way it is. And Maya will probably like to call in through. And here we have it. A teepee. What is this called? A hammock. And we have some chairs here. Oh, we have one chair now. And from here, when we have a bush, a lovely bush. And now if I sit right here, in this very spot, I can see the road. I can come down here and watch the traffic. I mean, what a novel idea. Some people do that, don't they? But so when the bus comes, I can see it. And then perhaps we can have a campfire in the middle. Have to rake everything into the center and make a nice clean spot. Maybe dig a hole and put some rocks in it. Well, you know, the thing with that then, you've got a place where people are going to trip and fall. And it's much better to just have an open area than to have something right in the middle of it. Especially because you'd have to go through it to get to the bus. However, at the same time, it would be really nice to be able to come down here before the kids come to the bus and light a fire. I did that a few times for my kids, but my kids had waited till the last minute because they were teenagers, you know, and they weren't into Mom's campfires in the teepee. Mom was kind of odd. I like it. This is me. This is who I always have been. So I have to trim off what's up there. And then I can pull this straight. Anyway, another couple of chairs, and I think we'll be about ready. Tighten this all up. I'm really enjoying that this is the way it is. I'm really enjoying that there's a teepee here. You know, it's really nice. It's on dry ground, it's grassy, and the teepee door is big enough. You can easily get in and out. There's a hammock here. It's kind of squished against the wall, of course. I should have another pole in between them. A little late for that, Nancy. And I'll put the skirt on the inside so it'll look like that. So it keeps the draft out. So where you're sitting is not windy. It's very nice. It also creates a gap between the floor Well, see, the outside layer, I didn't bring it all the way to the floor because the inside layer will then go to the floor, and there'll be a draft. And so the draft will suck the smoke out. Wow, look, you can see through the walls. You can see that there's the sunset. Wow, we haven't had the sun today. So now we have a sunset. It's very nice to have a sunset. We almost have a full moon too. I wonder when you'll see this. You know, these I'm uploading now to Tipiwoman. And I can't combine them, and I can't get anything to upload to Nancy today, so it's all going to Tipiwoman now, but nobody knows it. So this may get 10 hits. Strange, eh? I guess I have to be verbal. I have to tell everyone it's moved. But there's so many on that channel. There's 18,000. And I can add these to those playlists. That's a good idea. So I should try tugging at this some more. But you know, I've done all this myself today. I brought all these different pulls here from various places. I did use my trailer. And I brought the fabrics here, and I lugged the fabrics around, but I stood the poles up, and then I brought more poles. I had to bring the other poles out from Sedge Meadow. And so my back is quite aware, and I took my kayak to the stream. So I'm gonna go and explore. Maybe I'll do that. I can't do that tomorrow, I don't think. Look, traffic. It's interesting, if you look at a car from a distance, sometimes the person that's in the car will sense that they're being looked at, and they'll look at you. And sometimes the people that are in the car are so intent on where they're going or their thoughts that they just zoom right by. And when they go by, it's like you can't even see the person. You know, they're a blur. It's almost like they're not there, but they are there. But you get into this quantum physics about space and how much space we take up, and our thoughts, which are part of the space, affect things. They affect lots of things. But when somebody drives by and they're very intent and they're not here at all, even if they're going at a reasonable speed, you can't see them. I mean, you can see a blur of them. I was watching this show yesterday, and it was talking about the probabilities of every moment. Everything. The probabilities of the minutest thing, like the way my lip will twitch at a certain thing. You know, some minute thing. It's all made up of that. Anyway, quantum physics is very interesting. It gets into what's between the atoms, what's in the atoms, and what's in the space, and in your brain, and the neurons and the way they fire. It's like lightning and thunder in there. And they show you what it looks like, as if you were in there with all these neurons. And they are lighting up over here, and it's quite a center. There's lots of fingers going off of it, and then those go to there, and that lights up, and they light up in pathways that when a certain event happens, say you were jilted at the altar, okay? So when a certain event happens, when you go to a wedding, you're likely to not be completely present watching the couple. You're likely remembering yourself in your situation and your feelings. And when you do all these things, so going to a wedding, or even saying going to a wedding, or even the word wedding, will trigger then memories, bad memories. And they're all held together in one of those neuron clusters, a big fat one with lots of fingers. And it's, on all the events in your life that have happened that are along the same line as being stood up at the altar, the way you felt about it, the way you thought about it, the way you remember it, everything and every other event that is similar when somebody didn't phone you back. Or, those can all, if you've got an emotional attachment to a thought, then all these things will be gathered in that one neuron, that one center. I don't know what they're called. I'm sure there's a word. This is a really nice space. It doesn't, on a video, it doesn't, you don't get it. It's just a little bit of it. Just the image of it. What your eyes would see, but you can't get the feeling of it, can you? Yeah, you can. Yeah, think about movies and how you get the feeling of some nice, really peaceful place in a movie. So you can get the feeling of it. Cameras are pretty cool, what they will record, eh? So there's this other thing that's very cool. So when you have an emotion releases a certain chemical. All the cells in the body, when an emotion happens, all these cells that are related to that kind of emotion, a chemical is released. A chemical is released in every cell in your body when you feel an emotion, when you have an emotional thought. And if it's an addicting feeling, when these cells all get excited because there's an emotion going on, if that emotion is addicting, then it's the cells that are making it addicting, isn't it? Because the cells and this chemical, you're getting a dopamine hit, or some chemical is shooting through your system. Adrenaline. What is adrenaline? Is it something that is created in an emotion? Is it a chemical? Probably is. It's some item in your body, some liquid, I guess, releases adrenaline. So, yeah, you can give a shot of adrenaline. So adrenaline is a liquid, I guess. I'm just trying to think about these things here. You're not really here, No, you're not. But you're making me happy because I'm thinking you're here. I'm feeling like you're here. I'm feeling like I should get you a chair. Where would you like to sit? Remember when we sat together at the at Fiddlehead Pond Tipi? That was the previous Joe Pye Tipi. Joe Pye Tipi has had quite a history. It's been in 1, 2, 3, 4 places. And it's been made of different poles. No, maybe the poles are the same. No, the poles are not the same. Those poles are in Alder Tipi. You see, and the Plateau Tipi poles, those are now in the Valley Tipi. And I think some of them have come down to the Joe Pye Tipi at the head of Fiddlehead Pond. But you remember when we used to sit together in that teepee and we had all those Christmas lights in it? And we would sit and talk and we had all these reflections of the lights of the teepee in the pond. And we would swim in the pond. You didn't swim. Sometimes you did. Sometimes you got to come and watch the frogs and go look at the bottom of the water, bottom of the pond. It'd be very interesting to look at it now because there's a lot of things growing in them. Nothing. The earth covers herself. Always. She does not like to be exposed, so she always covers herself. Isn't that interesting? And when we see part of the earth that's exposed, like a gravel pit or some strip mining, when we see the earth that's exposed, it doesn't feel good to us, does it? We have a negative emotion about it. There's something wrong. These emotions are very interesting, how everything that creates an emotion, say you feel like a victim, and you and if you feel like a victim, then every time and you like feeling like a victim, it's like what you do. It makes you feel miserable, and you like that feeling of miserable. I wonder how long we've been talking. We've been talking a long time. I know. You haven't been able to get a word in edgewise, have you? Would you like me to stop now so you can get a word in edgewise? Go ahead, type it. Is that long enough? I want to talk again. It's my turn. I have something to say. Those clouds look very pretty. I think we should go out and look at them. We might be done for the day. But wait. Oh, now we have to get adjusted. What is that? AEEF lock. Stop. Unlock. There we go. Okay. Look at that. Blue sky. I could go kayaking, but I think the sun is gone. And I think I'm going to need some sunshine. But you know, it might be a full moon tonight. It's really nice to kayak in the full moon. Because the water is always silver. Remember when we used to go, did we kayak with beavers? No. I wrote a book, it's Canoeing with Beavers. And it was when I would spend time in the canoe, sitting beside the beaver lodge. And inside the beaver lodge, I could hear the animals. Because if I was very still, but if I moved my foot the slightest bit, it would be totally amplified. It's nice to have you along again. You know, I think that's why I haven't been making videos, because I didn't realize that you were there. And I wasn't talking to you. I used to talk to you all the time. Remember when you would sit on the tripod on your high chair, and then you'd run out of energy, and I'd get my cord out and I'd plug you in and you'd perk right up. Remember that? It was fun. It's kind of strange to be looking at the camera. Let's have a look at what this looks like from back here, okay? You have to get there first. You know, this video is now 19 minutes long. It's probably going to turn off just because there's no room. Now, why would I think a thought like that? Like, hello, let's manifest this. No. Not that I have the power to make things happen, but I think our thoughts are very powerful. Oh, there it is. Looks like a campsite, doesn't it? Oops. It's not that dark. So, there. That's about right. Except the sky's not that light. I have to go collect leaves again. People bag them up and I go get them. I love having a trailer. It's the best thing ever. I just hook it up to my car and away I go. And look what I did. I was able to bring all these poles here and these tarps. This is going to be a pretty nice teepee, I think. Maybe I should have a little campfire in there. But I won't have a campfire in there while my car is beside it. Actually, now look it. This could be a lot tighter. Nancy. Let's hold on to it here. And peep-ho. Oh, Nancy, that's the way. I knew you'd think of it later. Okay, where can we hold now? Here, you pull over there and I'll pull here. If only I could push that up. Oh, I can. I have to pull harder. But I can't do it with you like this. You're going to have to just stay right here for a minute. And you can watch. Okay, can you see anything from there? Not really. Probably just see the side of it, right? Oh, hello! Hi! Yes, here we are again. Hi. Hello, it's Nancy today. You saw it here last. You can do this at home. Results may differ. Oh, look it. Perfect. Time for the grandchildren's room. I think I better get my... Okay, I'm right here. I didn't go far. Anyway. I'm coming back. Okay. Everything's going to be all right. See? I'm back. I told you I would come back. You did. See? Did I lie to you? Why? That's a really nice bush. You can't see the bush. You're not going to be able to see me either. Well, I will help you. A little bit of a different view. Now, if you go falling off, you won't be able to see anything. So, there. Just try and balance. Don't get up and move around. Same thing twice. Why do I do the same thing? Okay, here we go again. Same thing twice. There's the last screw. There's the last bit in my battery. Oh no, my battery's going to go over here.